Hello, welcome to Furious Driving, and today we're doing something a little bit different. Now, we always know we drive around housing estates and see these old garage doors and wonder what's behind them. Well, today, after a bit of a chance phone call with a viewer, we've got the chance to look behind one, because hidden behind this innocuous blue garage door there is a car that hasn't moved in well over a decade. And if my wife's watching, I'm not bringing it home, don't worry. Now, fans of unexceptional chod will already be able to spot from this tail light exactly what we've got lurking under this slightly unpleasant cover. Yes, it's a Proton. If you were at or saw the Festival of the Unexception, you'll know a Proton actually won the festival. It was a Black Knight edition, which is the only one left of its kind. This, I don't think, is a special edition. I'm slightly wary of touching this blanket because I'm told a fox died in this garage at some point in the last 10 years. So this is Proton, must be a saga, won't it, being 1993. It's a 1.5 GL triple valve, or as it was known in other parts of the world, the Mega Valve. Wow, it looks absolutely immaculate apart from a bit of dust and dirt on it. Still has a sticker from the Premier Auto Centres, where I assume it was bought or serviced. I'm told it's only got about 10,000 miles on it from new, so it's quite exciting to see what it's like underneath these blankets. Right, I'm going to walk down the side of the car and see what we're looking at. It is very grubby in here, but the car looks really clean underneath the dirt. Only unleaded will do. This is a fairly new idea for Britain in the early 90s, only unleaded. Okay, Proton. Bit tight in here, but wow, look at this dust. This car is, I don't know what to call it really. This car is kind of time warp, time capsule even. Kept safe. Now, I'm told the gentleman who owned this car only drove it very sparingly and sawned it in 2010, and that was the last time it moved. He covered it in blankets to keep it safe. It's dry garage, although I say dry, there's a lot of leaves on the floor in here. Look at this bodywork. Even the arches are still absolutely lovely. The number plates from Premier Auto Group in Croydon. I wonder if they're still going. Right, let's get these blankets off and have a proper look at the Proton. Wow, look at that interior. It's absolutely immaculate. Is it open? Yes, it is open. Look at these seats. They look brand new. I mean, this was one of the selling points of the Protons, is that they were tough cars. In Malaysia, these were the default taxi cab back in the late 80s and into the 90s, because they just did not break. And this is the thing, these spider's webs. Check out that mileage, 10,724 miles. This car has barely lived. It smells like a new car from 20 years ago, but very musty. You can smell the rubber floor mats. Kind of, the fabric is, I don't know, I think it's the rubber of the gear knob and that kind of stuff, and the steering wheel. It's a unique smell, almost like a dentist's but rubbery. Oh look, I've got a little aerial on the top like on a Rover 200. The last blanket. This is, yeah. So let's have a look at the bonnet and see what's underneath there. There's the bonnet release, quite small to find. First glimpse of daylight this engine has had in a decade. Magma, it's 12 valves, it's 3 valves per cylinder on this thing. It actually doesn't look too bad. Yeah, that's it. And check this out, the inner wings, it's all very dirty, very dusty. Look at this fluff and stuff from where it's been sat around. But look how clean it is, just a little bit of tiny surface rust starting to form on the front slam panel. Wonder what the engine oil is like in here. Oh, that's not moved in a long time. There's a bit of moisture on the oil cap still. Engine is very shiny inside there, which is a good sign. Oops. This is a lot harder with one hand than you'd imagine. Where do we think the... There we go. Let's check the oil. It's the first thing you do with any old Barn Find car. This is full of oil. It's right at the max level, and it's not that black or dirty. I wonder if this has changed not long before it was parked. Wow. Makes me think maybe this car would fire up. Normally the first thing you do with a Barn Find car is change the oil, but that looked actually quite good. Shall I go get the jump pack and see if the lights come on the dashboard? Alright, this battery is going to be beyond toast because, oh my god, it's been disconnected. Someone actually disconnected this battery before they abandoned the car. This guy really cared for his stuff. It's just about finger tight enough to put that on there. That's been disconnected as well. He didn't just disconnect the earth, he disconnected the live as well. Wow, let's put a jump pack on there. So the battery was disconnected on this. Yeah. So the chart might not even be completely ruined. Well, green lights. Let's see if any lights come on the dashboard. Oh, oh, oh. We already have an open door warning signal. Let's try the key and see what happens. A buzzer! Everything! We're in neutral. The handbrake has been left off. All the lights. I suspect the fuel is stale or has gone all the way back to the tank. It's going to take a lot of cranking to get it there. Well, that buzzer is awful. Let's see if this thing rolls. If you push it back ever so slightly, you should see if it moves or not. Oh, hang on, I'll come to the front. It moves. Oh, don't go too far because the pole's holding the door up. Right. Wow, it moves. So the engine turns, the wheels turn, the brakes aren't locked. This looks like the perfect barn find. Happy days. What an amazing thing. It's got a little bit of petrol in it, but it doesn't want to fire up, and I'm loath to keep cranking it. And without some fresh petrol. Wow, what a machine. What an amazing thing. The other question is, how solid is this car? Well, looking at that floor in the torchlight, that does actually look rather good. It looks like it's all been undersealed. What an amazing machine. So looking at the engine on this thing, this is quite an advanced thing. I think it's the Mitsubishi Orion unit. This car came with a 1.3 or a 1.5. This being the 1.5 is the big block. And it all has fuel injection ECI multi, electronic something multi. And Magma 12 valve, so multi-valve per cylinder. Obviously this needs a jolly good service. I'm guessing it's due a cam belt as well. Presumably, as these are massively popular, although they're kind of hard to get bits for in the UK, stuff from Malaysia would be easy to source. Whenever I pull a car out of a barn, it needs about 3 years more welding than I was expecting. This one looks like you could just change the oil, change the cam belt, wash it, and win a car show. I'm just blown away with this interior. I need to look at this interior some more because it is absolutely astonishing. The tweedy fabric in the door. Oh my god, the interior lights just decided to come on as well. That's a new thing. This tweedy fabric is absolutely fantastic. Then we have the steering wheel with a shiny thing with the logo, shiny plate area with the logo, a little silver area that looks like it should have a name, but it doesn't. And we have these wonderful Malaysian design tweaks. This is a bit like a Mark 1 MR2, where you've got the light switches here on the side. Did the lights work then?
Yeah, sound lights, isn't it?
So the lights do work. With the awful squeaking noise. Wiper switch on the left is a mirror image of it, and the entire dashboard is kind of stacks of things. Complete with an original Blaupunkt auto reverse cassette deck. A Blaupunkt Verona. That's probably worth more than the car. Down here we've got the same stacking design of dashboard. This car is absolutely glorious. And then check out this headlining. It's a bit like the Alpha 90 with its aircraft inspired central beam, but there's no controls and things. It's just pressed in for giving a bit more structural strength. What a machine. And only 10,000 miles from new since 1993. Right, the one thing we haven't done is open the boot. Gosh, do you remember National Breakdown? I'm sure my grandparents had National Breakdown stickers in their cars. Whoa. This shows how old it is. It's got a red petrol can for 4-star. They don't even make red petrol cans anymore. Look at the floor underneath here. This car is just like new under here. Still got a full-size spare wheel, a fire extinguisher which is probably past its best. And this guy even went and put fabric, an old blanket or something underneath here to stop the rattling. He really liked his car, didn't he? Look at this floor pan. This looks like the guy who had this car clearly cared a great deal for it. Mind you, if he's come from Vauxhalls previously, he will be well aware of rust and terrified of it. So it looks like he's spent a long time going underneath there and wax oiling every millimetre. I hesitate to use the phrase time warp, but it probably is. I mean, even that, I mean, you can see that clearly. I can't go underneath it. There is a pit underneath here, but we can't reach it because the garage door is being held up by sticks. Even if you can see that, that brake line, that brake flexi, looks to be in decent condition from a distance of a metre or two away. I really, really wish when I was pulling cars out of barns they looked like this thing. Not the kind of chod that I normally drag home already. But we know the engine is good. We know the oil is good. This car could virtually drive away with a can of petrol in the tank. What an astonishing find. Let's pop this bonnet down and take a proper look at it. Now the design of this thing, I think the strapline from the adverts was something like Japanese technology, Malaysian style or Malaysian design, something like that. These were not huge sellers, but they were incredible bargains. They were just so cheap, but also just so well made and reliable. I believe the owner of this car had a series of Vauxhalls before this and then moved over to Malaysian cars, or Malaysian car, for his last ever vehicle. I said I didn't want this car. Now I've looked at this car, I want this car, but I know it's got a good home. I think it's going to already. So fortunately there's no bidding war for this one. I think it's already going off on a transporter very soon. But wow, they are going to be very, very pleased indeed when they see this car. I think if this rode up at my house, I would actually be quite pleased to see it as well. I'm walking away. I'm walking away. I'm not asking for it. I'm walking away. So I'm back again a couple of days later. I couldn't leave you hanging, not starting the Proton after all that build-up, could I? But the reason I didn't crank it over last time was because I knew someone had actually been promised the car and I didn't want to be the person to start it when they weren't here, because that person is someone you may well recognise. It's Steph from iDriver Classic. Now, if you're going to do a barn find car rescue, you need to come in an appropriate vehicle. So this is what we turned up in today. Steph is getting her first look of her new car. So what do you reckon?
It's actually so much better though. I thought it was
yeah, because you were so worried on the phone. You thought you was not even going to get out the garage.
No, I thought, I don't know, I thought I was going to turn up and it was going to be like, you know when you see those urban explorers go through and they see cars where they're completely flat tyres, rats meeting the inside. I thought, oh god, what am I turning up to? Actually, it's really good.
Do you know what, I thought the same thing when I turned up here. It was disappointingly nice.
Do you know what really gets me? Is you see all this plastic?
Yeah, it's not faded, has it?
No. I've actually...
Problem is that gutter thing, that pipe.
I think once it's running, that's cool, we should be fine.
There she is. The first time in daylight, the poor little devil.
Hey, there we go.
What do you reckon? Bit of mouse fluff up in the top. I think some rodents have been in the, but nothing seems to be gnawed through.
Nothing seems to be missing.
Crazy thing is, this battery looks brand new.
Yeah, that's really weird.
That is odd, isn't it?
But it can't be.
No, but look at what's the make is it?
Orama. Never heard of Orama before, but
So I would think that's. But it looks like it looks new, doesn't it?
it looks brand new. But the car's been parked up for so long. I can't imagine anyone's been in and changed the battery in it. Maybe put a new battery on before he parked it. So we've got coolant. We've got good hoses. The battery is utterly stone dead, so first thing to do, whack a new battery on it, and then hopefully we'll get some life out of this thing without a jump pack on it. There we go. This is the receipt for this battery that looked brand new. It's actually 11 years old.
Can I grab
This has
fitting
been
off
on
you as
charge
well,
all
please?
night,
Thanks.
so and then I had a car running off of it yesterday. So
Might be a little bit it'll get us going for the first crank. I'm looking for a block of wood
Why do you have a block of wood?
because the battery's too low.
What about those blocks of wood?
They're too long. Need to be like that kind of. You're always peckish.
You reckon what? Oh, jeez!
There you go.
I guess it, whatever works, I guess.
One more.
another one if you can find it.
Oh, there's a stack of them over here.
So loud! Oh, my ears!
There you go. A little bit of timber underneath there. Gets the battery to the right height. There we go, battery's now at the right height and connected. So now we can give it a go to see what fuel we've got and giving it a go at cranking.
Bit of power, because as we touch the negative terminal, you can hear it cracking and a relay is clicking somewhere. So we have life.
Now we're going to start it up. Matt kind of got it to this stage in the garage, but today we're going to get it for the first time in over 10 years. We're going to get this lovely, technically barn find Proton started. What?
Not even a challenge! Can you believe that? It just went! It's on.
Are you sure you didn't do something to this when you were on it?
I just gave it my love. I just gave it my magic touch. It's not even smoking out the back.
Oh, that
That's
noise.
awesome.
That can't be, it's so quiet. Can you hear it?
That is so smooth. And that's on decade-old petrol.
Yes! Let's go to an MOT.
I thought this was going to be a challenge.
I just wanted to be known that Matt Richardson from Furious Driving told me that this was going to be a right challenge.
Slanderer! Slanderer!
Well, you made me feel like it was going to be more of a challenge than this.
I hoped it'd be a challenge.
Does the throttle actually work?
No.
No? What?
What?
What? Oh.
Just hold it about 1,000 RPM, just to clear the
Oh,
cylinders.
sorry, it was like stuck.
And it's got a tacho, look.
Yeah. Posh.
Oh my god, this is amazing.
You do a horn test?
Yeah, horn test.
Horn test?
Oh, my ears!
Oh look, there's even a tea tray for
Yeah, it's got a
Matt.
T-shelf. It's got a T-shelf. Fantastic.
Look at that.
Best car ever.
Listen to that engine.
I'm really regretting not gazumping her now and just keeping this for myself.
Oh, look at this.
Oh my word, that's vintage confectionery. It's like a sewing machine under here. The alternator belt is absolutely fine. It is incredible. It's not even ticking at the top end. The bottom end sounds smooth. I can't believe we didn't bother starting it before. This is just incredible. I'm genuinely disappointed that this wasn't a more challenging startup video, but at the same time extremely relieved that the car is as good as it actually is. Okay, so the first move, it fires straight back up again. This is absolutely incredible. The clutch pedal is quite light, but I think that's kind of how it is. It's not sprung very heavy. Get reverse, in without a crunch, amazing. The first move of the car, everyone ready? It's moving. It's actually moving. Wow, it's smooth. It's really smooth. Absolutely amazing, I love it. I want this car. Steph, you're not having it. Hang on. Yep, brakes are good. Oh, that's good then. Everything works. Unfortunately, I'm blocked in by my car. I can't steal it. We have checked it and the thermostat is now open. The water is flowing, so the thermostat even works. Everything works on this car. Fan kicks in. Everything works.
Because there's been no UV from the sun, because it's been in complete darkness, even the wiper blades are like new.
Do a wiper check?
For the hub nut fans.
Yeah.
Look at the wiper action on that. This guy's got awesome T-shelf and a solid wiper action.
It all works!
All four jets! There's not a thing that doesn't work on this car apart from one side repeater.
The side repeater, I'm just going to go get some bits from Halfords.
Yeah. Well, if you stop for petrol, they'll sell it in the petrol station.
Yeah! What do you think then, Colin?
Professional car restorer's opinion?
It's alright.
incredibly, because this house is being cleared and the garage is being cleared, this car was actually that close from being trailered away for scrap money because it had been sat here for so long, no one thought it was worth anything. But fortunately, one member of the family said, this car is actually going to be too nice to scrap. Let's get in contact with some silly people off YouTube who can come along and get excited about it. And we got very excited about it. And look, it's been sat here for half an hour idling, and the engine is just running up below halfway. It's just sitting perfectly. What an amazing car. It is. Kind of cobwebby though. We've got some little uninvited guests living in here, but at least they've kept the mosquitoes and flies down. One thing we hadn't tried before, do the blowers work? They do, they smell terrible. Oh, the heat's on. That's blowing really hot, but crikey, it stinks. This is really interesting. Looking at this service book, you can see first service in 1994, 880 miles. And then over the next couple of years, it's doing under 2,000, 1,000 miles a year, virtually nothing, all the way up to 2000, which only hit 8,054 miles in the year 2000. So over the next decade, because it's parked up around, I think, 2010 or 11, it did 2,000 miles over a decade. That's averaging 200 a year. That's like the MOT station and maybe once or twice to the shops a year. This car is just an astonishing survivor. I'm so impressed with this car. When I was told there's a Proton in a barn, I was thinking, yeah, I'll go and look. I'm interested in a car in a garage that's been sat for decades, just a piece of history, and it's going to be interesting. But now it's actually out here idling and everything working, even all 4 washer jets are squirting. I'm just like, how is this so good? Why have I never wanted a Proton before? Okay, so Steph, you have today won cars and won the internet. You've got the best new car online this year, basically. 2021 is one.
Everyone in Malaysia is so jealous of me. They all love Protons. They're going to be all over this.
You've got, a perfect classic just out the box. It's amazing. So, so now, plan for the next couple of days is?
The plan for the next couple of days is we give it a jolly good wash, drop it to the garage for the MOT. So the MOT is booked. I was so confident that we were going to get it started today that I booked an MOT. It's booked for Monday, Tuesday. So next week's video, I'm hoping we'll be able to do a review of the Proton and tell you that it got through MOT successfully, or what we've had to do to get it through an MOT. And then it'll be going into work to get all the tyres changed. For those of you that don't know, I work for a classic car garage. Well, part of classic car garage at the site, so we'll get all the tyres changed up there, and then I'll be getting it detailed as well, because we've got a cracking lad at work called Jake who does detailing, does a great job and on all the showroom cars for me. So I said to him, next week there's a Proton turning up, it's mine, I'll pay you to do it out of hours and then get it all filmed up and show people. But one of the things that I'm going to do as well is I'm also going to put some seat covers on, because those seats are immaculate and it seems like a real disservice for the car to get this far and for me to ruin the seats in 12 months. So I'm going to put car seats all over everything, probably going to be putting mats over the mats. I'm probably going to be one of those people.
It's good, driving in slippers and mats on the mats. And
I'm never ever going to own a car this nice ever again in my lifetime. So it's actually on me to keep it to a high standard and to get it to a higher standard, so that when it goes off to Proton job, which it will, it looks better than it does today. But I don't think it looks too bad, really. I've seen cars that have been sitting for 3 months that look untidier than this, far newer. Yeah, so actually, we've won the internet today.
The old man who owned this car, he really knew how to look after a car. It's absolutely, I can get myself back in the shot again. It's absolutely spotless, and it's like a 1-year-old, 30-year-old car. This car is the same age, the same number plate as my Rover Coupe, which looks nowhere near as smart as this, because that's been living on the street and outside and being rained on for decades.
It's quite nice.
But it's dirty. When it's dirty, you can't see the rust.
But I can't believe that it started.
No,
I can't believe that everything's happened today as it has.
Is it still running in the background?
Yeah. Oh, what?
You can't even hear it's running. You can't even hear it.
The cooling fan's been cycling.
Yeah, I heard that click on and off. Oh yeah, there's the buzzer.
There's the noise.
Oh, and it goes without saying that Steph has said off camera, because people will comment this if we don't say it. We'll be changing the cam belt and we'll be getting it under sealed. It's not just going to be going plodding off and
God, no, no.
Because I know some people might assume that because we haven't said it, it's not happening, but no, that is going to happen.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, absolutely, and massive thanks to Matt, because I was really nervous about doing all of this, and Matt came down and checked it all out for me, and he was really great. Sent me loads of pictures, loads of footage prior to today.
Yeah, and now I wish I hadn't. Now I wish I just said it's awful, you don't want it.
And then me turning up to a show and you being in the car. Oh, that looks like that Proton.
So no, it's a different one. It's a really similar one. No, I know it's also an elf plate, but no, it's just a totally different car.
Yeah, also the mileage is really low. Can't imagine why.
Who knew?
Yeah, no, that's great. Thanks, Matt.
No, you're welcome. I'm glad to have been part of it. So if you want to see more of this car, then head over to iDriver Classic, where Steph will be following the adventures of this car over the following months, years, who knows how long, and you'll see a brand new Proton here in the UK. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this, do please hit like and subscribe, and head over to iDriver Classic and do the same thing over there. And we'll see you again next time driving something completely different.